Right, so I'm going to start talking about zips. And I have to say, zips are my favourite things to do. So, with a bit of luck, I can instill some of that passion into you. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about different types of zips and the anatomy of them, because actually understanding how zips work will really make a difference to your sewing. So in front of me, I have got a very small selection of different types of zips. There are lots and lots and lots of zips out there. So we will be working predominantly with a standard zip and an invisible zip. So both of these have nylon coils and are very common when you are dressmaking. I've also got in front of me a couple of specialist zips. So this one has a metallic set of coils, which is a little trickier to sew because you obviously have limited room for error. So because if your needle hits that metal, it will probably break it. And here is an example of, again, a slightly more robust nylon zipper, but it is what we call an open-ended one, which means that you can detach it from the bottom. And this is really common in jackets, sportswear, and things like that. You want to be able to coats, zip it up from the front. So you will notice that not only are the coils different and the ends are different, so these are closed zips, this is an open-ended one, but you'll notice that the width is different as well. So typically on a standard zip, you tend to find that they are about an inch or 2.5 centimeters wide. Invisible zips or concealed zips tend to be ever so slightly narrower, and your specialist ones are quite often a lot bigger because they have to be sewn in different ways. So I'm just going to move these ones aside and we'll really get into the finer details of these zips. Okay, so we're going to look at these two types of zips because they are very common in dressmaking. So this is a standard and this is the invisible. And you'll notice off the bat that they both have these zip pulls or tabs that open and close the zip. Okay. You'll also notice, certainly on the standard zip, that they have coils. Now the coils here are sitting on the top side along with the tab. However, on the concealed zip, they're on the underside. So that's how you can tell the difference between the two. So if it's on the underside, it's concealed. If it's on the top, it's a standard zip. You will notice that both these zips, or all zips in fact, will have fabric tape either side of the coils, and this is what gets sewn onto the garments, typically on the seam allowances, and so therefore it's quite an integral part of the zip because it holds everything together and holds everything in place. The zips will have stoppers, and these are at the bottom and at the top. Now you might be able to see that I've created my own stopper for this concealed zip. So just because your zip may be longer than needed doesn't mean that you can't create your own stopper by sewing over the coils. But these stoppers will prevent the tab from running off the coils and needing to be replaced or reattached, which is incredibly annoying and quite a tricky, fiddly thing to do. So if we go to the top, the zips will stop there. Now, you may also notice that there is some excess tape above those stoppers, and this is deliberate. A lot of people cut these bits of tape off because they think, well, my zip will finish at the top of my garment, so why on earth would I need these bits of tape? But in fact, actually, they are fundamental because typically you will be sewing onto a garment, you might be having a bit of facing there or a bit of bias. You might be covering up the top of your garment with a waistband, and this gets sewn into all of that to keep it nice and secure. So don't be tempted to cut it off, because actually it's needed. And I'll teach you how to finish this all off with some very nice finishes as we go along this zip journey.